Hi, welcome to lecture 2 of airframe structural analysis. In last lecture, I have given some questions. These are the answers for that. The range of Poisson's ratio for isotropic elastic material. The range is between minus zero point -0.1 to 0.5. There are materials like novel foam which is having a Poisson's ratio of -1. Types of Poisson's ratio. We have elastic Poisson ratio and plastic Poisson ratio. Number of independent elastic constants for monoclinic material, that is 13. What is this monoclinic material? These are materials will be having symmetry about one axis. The factors on which stress depends on static loading and dynamic loading. For static loading, the state of stress depends upon load and cross-sectional area. For dynamic loading, it depends upon load, cross-sectional area, and material. Mild steel deforms more in plastic region. It is true. Mild steel deforms more in plastic region. Today in this lecture we will start the unit 1, that is for unsymmetrical bending. These are topics: introduction, symmetrical and unsymmetrical bending, theory of simple bending, numericals for that, then estimation of bending stress in unsymmetrical section. We have three methods for that. One is K method, second one is neutral axis method, third one is principal axis method. We will discuss all three methods in this course. Last topic is estimation of bending stress for thin wall section. We will go through thin wall section, since for aircraft we will be using more amount of thin wall section. So it is very important to find out the bending stress in thin wall sections. What do you mean by bending? Bending is nothing but the combination of tensile and compressive stress. As you are aware that aircraft in a flight condition will be having a lift load. Due to the lift load, there will be a bending stress generated in the wing. You can see in this diagram, this is the undeformed model or without lift. And when you are having a certain amount of lift, the wing will bend in this manner. The wing will bend in this manner. So on the upper side of the wing will be having more compressive stress, and the lower side of the wing will be having more tensile stress. So this combination of both the stresses will be causing the bending stress in the wing. Other than wing, the bending stress will be acting on your empennage part, and some amount of bending stress will be acting throughout your main body or fuselage of the aircraft. When comparing to all bending stress, the wing will be having more amount of bending stress, and it is an unsymmetrical section also. This is the reason why we are studying this particular chapter. The wing will be subjected to unsymmetrical bending because we will be having an unsymmetrical structure of the wing. This will be covering in the next further lectures. Why there is unsymmetrical bending happening in the wing. Now we will discuss about what is symmetrical bending and unsymmetrical bending. If the bending takes place in the plane of loading, it is called symmetrical bending. The bending will be along in one direction without any rotation. For example, we have an I section. For an I section, when you are applying the load along the line of symmetry, we will be having a symmetrical bending. We have this I section which is symmetrical about both X axis and Y axis. When we are applying the load along the symmetrical line of symmetry, we will be having a symmetrical bending. That is, the load will be passing through the center of gravity or centroidal axis of your I section. That's why you will be having a symmetrical bending throughout this case. For unsymmetrical bending, if the bending takes place in a plane other than plane of loading, it is called unsymmetrical bending. This type of bending will be having some amount of rotation or twisting. There are two cases for this. Case number one, Unsymmetrical section will be always having unsymmetrical bending, and symmetrical section will be having an unsymmetrical bending when we are not applying the load in the line of symmetry. Case 1, you have an L section or angle section. It's an unsymmetrical section. When you apply any type of load, this type of structure will be having an unsymmetrical bending. When you have an Z section or C section, you will be always be having an unsymmetrical bending. When we have a T section, it's something like this. It's not symmetrical about X or Y axis. You will be having an unsymmetrical bending. Case number 2. In case number 2, you have a symmetrical section. This is a I section which is symmetric about both X and Y axis. But we are applying a load of 100 kilonewton at an angle 28 degree. So this is nothing but we are not applying load along the line of symmetry. That is, we are not applying load along your X axis or Y axis. This will create an unsymmetrical bending. We are applying a load at an angle with respect to the line, with respect to the X-axis. This is nothing but an inclined load or skew load. This will create unsymmetrical bending. Similarly, in this case, we have a rectangular section which is symmetric about your X and Y axis. We are applying a skew load or inclined load. This also will create a unsymmetrical bending. So, for a symmetrical section, we will be having both symmetrical bending and unsymmetrical bending. For an unsymmetrical section, we will be having always an unsymmetrical bending. This is the quiz number 2 for this lecture. Limit within which Hooke's law holds good. What is fluctuating rigidity, Poisson ratio? Just find out the answer. Okay, thank you.